The retirement industry wants you afraid. Afraid you'll run out of money. Afraid you can't afford to stop working. Afraid if you breathe wrong, it all falls apart. And here's what happens that makes me crazy. Most of the fear is based on bad math, but, and this is important, some of it is based on real math. And if you can't tell the difference, that can be a very expensive mistake. I've been a real estate broker for over 25 years. I've sat across the table from hundreds of families making the biggest financial decisions of their lives. And what I've seen is this. A lot of people do get richer in retirement, but not everyone. And the difference between the two groups comes down to one number that almost nobody talks about. Let me show you what the number is, and then the 4 reasons it works in your favor if you get it right. All right, let me say this clearly before we go any further. A big savings number does not automatically mean you'll be fine in retirement. And a smaller savings number does not automatically mean you'll struggle. The number that matters, the one that determines whether you get richer or go broke, is the gap between your monthly income and your monthly bills. That's it. That's the whole ballgame. If your Social Security and pension and any other guaranteed income cover your basic expenses, you're in a completely different position than someone with $2 million saved, but $2,000 a month shortfall. I read a comment on a video like this one recently. Someone said, you can have $2 million saved, but if your pension and Social Security only brings in $3K a month and you spend $5K a month, you're draining that savings way too fast. The math is simple but brutal. And here's what most pre-retirement calculators get wrong. They focus on your portfolio balance, your total savings, your number. But a plan that substantially covers your monthly gap, well, that's real security. The portfolio balance is just a number. So with that as our framework, let me walk you through the 4 reasons this gap often shrinks in retirement. Sometimes enough that people actually end up with more money than when they were working. Reason number 1, and this is the one that surprises people the most. The day you retired, if you were a W-2 employee, you gave yourself a raise. Here's the math, and I want you to actually do this with me. When you were working, 7.65% of every paycheck went to Social Security and Medicare. Gone. Every check, non-negotiable. On top of that, if you were contributing 10, 12, 15% of your income to your 401k, that money was leaving your paycheck before you ever saw it. Let's say you were making $80,000 a year. 7.65% Social Security tax, that's over $6,000 a year gone. 12% 401k contribution, that's nearly $10,000 gone. That's $16,000 a year, $1,300 a month. That was leaving your check before you could spend $1 of it. And here's what most calculators miss. They project your working income forward and say you'll need 80% of this to live on. But you already weren't living on 80%. You were living on maybe 65%. In retirement, both of those deductions are gone. You're not paying Social Security taxes on Social Security income, and you're not contributing to a retirement account you've already funded. That is a 20% or more effective raise on your spendable income just from stopping work. Do the full math, not the hopeful math, the real math. Coming in at number 2, and this one sneaks up on people. Your career was expensive. The commute, the professional wardrobe, the lunches out, the convenient spending, because when you're tired and busy, you pay for convenience. I recently read a comment that nailed it. I no longer need the things that made my work life manageable. Right? We wasted money on a lot of things during our work life. In retirement, you have time, and time replaces money in more ways than you'd expect. You cook more, you shop smarter, you're not paying for convenience because you have the one thing you never had before, the ability to be intentional. And those savings, they don't show up on any calculator. But for most of my clients, they're significant, sometimes $500 to $1,000 a month or more back in their pocket. That shrinks the gap in your favor. And number 3, this is the one that people have the hardest time believing until they see it. Compounding does not care if you've stopped working. If you have $500,000 in a well-diversified portfolio and your Social Security covers your bills, so you're not pulling from it, that money is still growing. 7% average annual return on $500,000 is $35,000 a year without you doing a single thing. Now, and this is where I need to be honest with you. If you're pulling from that portfolio to cover a big monthly gap, the math changes. A $2,000 monthly withdrawal from a $500,000 portfolio, well, you're pulling 4.8% a year. At 7% growth, you're still net positive, but the margin gets thin. And if the market drops in your first year of retirement, well, you better watch out. That's called the sequence of returns risk, and it's real. One commenter said, "I'm just glad I don't retire this year with a market correction. It'll come back, but you don't want that in your first year." He's right. This is exactly why structure matters and why I'm going to give you a framework for it in just a few minutes. But the foundational point stands. For people whose guaranteed income covers their basics, the portfolio keeps compounding. And some of my clients have a higher net worth at 75 than they did at 65. Not because they earn more, because they stopped pulling and let it work. Number 4, simple but powerful. For most retirees who planned well, the mortgage is gone. The car payments are gone. The kids' college is done. When your Social Security check comes in, there's no debt payment waiting on the other side of it. That income goes a long way. I've had clients whose Social Security alone, $2,200 to $2,500 a month, covers every bill they have. Their savings and investments untouched. Still compounding, still growing. And by the way, if this is starting to click and you're wondering where you fall, there's a free quiz I have at timetorightsized.com that asks a few simple questions and tells you whether you're on the path ready to retire. It takes 2 minutes. I'll leave a link down below in case you want to check it out. Now, here's where we get practical, because knowing why people get richer is one thing. Making sure you are one of them, well, that takes some structure. And that brings me back to the gap. The framework I use with my clients is the 3-bucket strategy. And the whole point of it is to manage that gap, to make sure you're pulling from the right place at the right time, so your portfolio doesn't take a hit it can't recover from. Bucket number 1, your safety bucket. This is a 1 to 2 years of living expenses in cash or near cash, no risk, no market exposure. When the market drops, and it will drop, you pull from here. You do not sell investments at a loss. Bucket 2, your income buckets. Bonds, dividends, stocks, conservative investments, SGov, things like that. This generates the income that refills bucket 1, 3 to 5 year horizon. Bucket 3, your growth bucket. Long-term money, equities, real estate, growth assets. You don't touch this for 7 to 10 years minimum. And here's what I see that most people miss. I had 2 clients last year with similar savings, about $500,000 each. Couple A, let's say, had a $1,500 a month gap between their income and their bills. They were pulling from their investments every month, selling whatever was up. No strategy. They burned through $90,000 in 3 years, and they were nervous. Couple B, same savings, same income, but their gap was only $400 a month, but because they right-sized into a more affordable home. Their portfolio was growing $40,000 in the same 3 years. Same market, same savings, completely different outcome. The difference? Couple B controlled the gap. Couple A didn't even know what theirs was. That's why 3 buckets matter. Structure beats anxiety. No, I owe you something honest, because I don't want you walking away from this thinking retirement is automatically a financial upgrade. It is not. This is not true for you if you're carrying significant debt into retirement. A mortgage, credit cards, medical bills. Debt payments eat your guaranteed income and widen the gap in the wrong direction. Your healthcare costs are crushing you. One commenter said his IRMAA surcharges and Medicare premiums cost more than his employer plan did. That's real. And it can wipe out 20% raise we talked about earlier. You don't have a pension? I hear from retirees all the time, people with a pension plus Social Security are in a fundamentally different position than people relying on Social Security alone, plus portfolio withdrawals. The gap is just wider without the third income source. You haven't tracked your actual spending? This is the silent killer. People who feel like they spend about the same, but they have never actually written it down, that's false confidence. That drains $200,000 in 8 years. Do the full math, not the hopeful math, the real math. So here's the bottom line. A lot of people do get richer in retirement, not because they got lucky, because the math works in their favor. If they understand the gap, and if they structure their money to protect it, you can make your own decision with your eyes wide open and not get blindsided like so many people do. If you want to see what right-sizing into a more affordable home can do for your gap, I also built a right-size savings calculator that shows you exactly how much you could save per month and what happens if you invest the equity. I'll make sure I leave the link right down below. And if this was helpful, I think you'll really want to see my video on retirement taxes by state. Which ones are the best? Which ones are the worst? It picks up right where this one leaves off. I'll link it down below, and also it's right up here. And remember, if you're getting anything out of these videos, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button so we can share this with as many people as possible. And please stay safe, and until the next video, I'll talk to you later.